week, I asked you boys to all prepare your predicted ladders for the season as we are getting pretty close to round one. And I said I'd compile them and make our official True Footy Podcast predicted ladder, which is funny because it might not reflect any of our views. But no,
it's an aggregate.
It is an aggregate, exactly right. So I'm not going to take you through each of our individual ones. I will just give you a few dot points that were interesting about each of our ones.
Yep.
I'll start with Joycey. You had Collingwood as bottom 2 this year.
Yep.
Okay, why? Just very short and brief. Why?
Yeah, I know it's a big call. I just personally don't see... they got good top-end talent, but I don't think they have the players to follow that up. I think, honestly, I don't have any faith in Buckley as a coach. I don't have faith in their list management. I think it's been pretty poor over the last couple of years. So, yeah, it was actually more of a case of I see Gold Coast, Brisbane, Carlton, those teams improving rather than Collingwood getting worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yep.
That's why I went with that.
The other thing, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but in the last podcast, I remember you saying you thought Freo would finish higher than West Coast.
Yep.
In the one you submitted, you've changed now,
Yep.
and you've put West Coast higher than you said before. Is there any particular reason?
Yeah.
Did I?
You put them up by like 2
I thought
spots.
I thought I had.
I think I
West,
said that.
I thought I had West Coast 9, Freo 10.
Nah, it was the other way around.
Okay.
Sorry to put you on the
Yeah,
spot.
they-
I know it was about a month
Ten.
ago we did it, but
Wasn't it me in the last podcast that said Freo would be higher?
I mean,
We
personally,
say that every week.
I don't know. I thought I didn't say
It's
that.
on record, alright?
But
mate, just
all
move
right.
past, yeah?
If we're going with it, then I guess I've changed my mind.
all right, fair enough.
But yeah, I think. That,
Anything to do with JLT, or is it just...
Gut
No,
feeling.
I think it's just. I think it's a little early for Fremantle. I think people are jumping the gun a little bit. I think still,
Okay.
most of their quality players are still in their young 20s. So I
Yeah.
think people are jumping the gun again. I think Eagles have their players are in a really good age bracket. They got a lot of decent players in that sort of mid 20s to older 20s range now.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably gonna perform better for majority of the season. I think Fremantle you'll probably see a little bit more last season, a lot high highs, low lows.
Cool. Yeah, nicely done. All right, now I'll move on to mine. To put myself under the spotlight, I, in the last podcast, talked up Essendon as a future flag chance this year. They were my roughie call, and I have completely lost confidence in them after watching them get belted. Now, you might say that's a knee-jerk reaction, but to be honest, I kind of only picked them as my roughie. I don't know if I actually really see their list as anywhere near as good as the top teams. I picked them, I guess, because nobody would have picked Richmond last year and the Bulldogs the year before that. And yeah, at the moment, I think I picked them to just miss the 8.
Yeah.
And the other one I had was GWS dropping to 6th. I had them lower than anyone, I think. Thought, the whole depleted backline, lost Mumford. I think they're a bit unsettled and could see them just slipping down a little bit.
Okay.
There's a lot of pressure on them, I guess, to continue the form lines the last few years and then to improve upon that.
Yeah.
It could, yeah.
So certain
Must.
players have got to stand up and be leaders now, like
Yep.
Toby Green we talked about. He can't keep getting
Can't just
suspended.
keep, yeah.
Jeremy Cameron's probably
expecting
gonna-
it to happen.
I think we
Yeah.
have seen in the past just because a team performs well when the players are young, people just assume it's going to be a generation of like dominance by that team. We saw, Collingwood did win the flag, but I remember everyone was saying all these guys, Sherrod, Wellingham, Pendlebury, all these guys are real young. These guys are going to dominate for the next 5
dynasty
years, and it
kind of
just
thing,
doesn't quite happen. Port Adelaide's another.
Yeah.
So
Never even
GWS
won
could fall into that category.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Bush, move to you real quickly. Now, you were the only person that put Fremantle ahead of West Coast, so could you just elaborate on that?
Well, I sort of... Ooh. Now, all the talking up for West Coast...
Did I say that?
it's like- I did say that. I definitely did say that. But a lot of things would have to go right in that prediction. I will concede, Fife would have to have a hell of a year for starters.
Luke Shearer
But I sort of
actually
felt
playing.
like the Eagles midfield is there's a lot of questions there. I I saw some good signs on the JLT. I got to admit, that sort of made me reevaluate that a bit, but I'd still want to see it in the season. But that was a tough. Like literally, when I did my ladder, it was like I had a top third, a middle third, and a bottom third.
Yeah.
But my middle third had about 10 teams in it, and I had to pick guys from that to go up.
That's
there was
true.
10 teams in that middle category. There was 4 teams that had clearly got good lists, and there was 4 teams that are clearly crap, for a lack of a better term.
Fair enough. All right, and the other one, you were the only person who had Hawthorn bottom 4.
Yeah, I'm just not that big on their list, really. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Fair enough. They're in a transition period, aren't
Exactly.
they? And there's no doubt they haven't drafted enough kids lately. Well, I mean, you can understand it, but...
I'd almost say they overperformed last year.
I'm a big. I'm actually a fan.
Of the Hawks.
Of Hawks at the moment. I think I'm just a big fan of Alistair Clarkson. I think he's one of the best cultural coaches in the game, and I think as much as they paid for Tom Mitchell and O'Meara, if that clicks, it could be a very, very good midfield.
They've
It's a
lost
massive risk, isn't it?
Hodge, Lewis,
Gibson.
and Mitchell.
Yeah.
And like those are, I guess Burgoyne's still there. He's kind of a heart and soul of the club as well. But they've lost a lot of leaders and a lot of culture through just that. I guess they're trying to rebuild it now.
I found
don't know.
teams when they, or at least sometimes, when they fall off the perch and they're a top team and they try and rebuild, I feel like they often overrate the youth. I remember it happened at West Coast 10 years ago. I think we backed in our youth too much.
Yeah.
Didn't realise we didn't have the youth the other teams did. And I'm worried about Hawthorn. As you say, they've got the best tactical coach and probably cultural coach in the league. But whether they just have that quality, if O'Meara doesn't get up, like Mitchell on his own is not going to be enough.
Who else is in their midfield other than those two? Really? Will Langford.
God, put me on the spot here.
You can understand why they were pretty desperate to keep Brad Hill, I think. I think
Will
Clarkson
Langford's
referred to
okay.
Brad Hill as like a son before he left.
Really?
Yeah. That's how close.
And
they
he
were.
won a best and fairest his first year. Freo. It shows he's a
That's
key
true.
guy.
Had a fantastic season, actually. Probably, I'd say his best season.
Yeah.
What does that say about Hawthorn when Billy Hartung leaves? Probably like some people are saying, best player at North already. Brad Hill leaves,
Yeah.
best player at
Exodus,
Fremantle,
yeah.
and they're only like average players at Hawthorn. I mean, I know this is from a couple of years ago for these guys, not currently, but says good things about their list.
Definitely. All right. Move on to Louis. You were the only person to have Richmond outside the top 4.
Oh,
Yeah, interestingly.
okay.
You had them 5th.
Fifth. I think I went with a pretty conservative ladder, to be honest. I don't think there was too many surprises in mine. I don't know.
What makes you think Richmond are going to slip? Do you think they're a bit of a hangover?
I think it'd just be improvement from other clubs. I think Sydney, who I think I had first, actually, will. Yes, I just think they perform the same as last year, which would be a hard thing to emulate. Then with other teams improving, I don't know. I just don't think they can't get in the top 4.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
just don't think they'll win enough games against these other teams that are improving
Okay.
Yeah.
their positions last.
Who
last
did you
year.
have at 4th? Just
Jeez, I'd have
do you
to
remember?
look that
I
again.
will have it somewhere. Geelong.
Geelong. Yeah. Okay. So you had
It was
Sydney.
a pretty conservative top 4. Sydney, Adelaide, GWS.
Geelong.
GWS is, I reckon them and Geelong, I'd probably bracket, no, them and Richmond I'd probably bracket together
Yeah.
as being within a spot of each other. I think it's very tight between those two teams. I could easily see them between 4th and 5th, those two teams together.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or 3rd is what I put in the ladder. But
Well, you were the only person to also have North above the bottom 4. So a bit of optimism there.
well, I don't think they're terrible.
They did have some good performances. I mean, they belted Adelaide last year.
Yeah, I think Ben Brown's a really good player. I think I think they do have a lot of players that just consistently underperform. but they can, on their day, actually win games if they can be bothered turning up.
Yeah.
I think they'll win more games than a Carlton and a Gold Coast by a mile.
Okay.
Who else?
That was the other thing. You had Carlton dead last.
Yeah.
Just not a fan?
Just not a fan. No, which is a shame. I mean, yeah.
Fair enough. I won't drill you anymore.
I'm surprised I
Can't really
hear about
elaborate.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just I picked that
yeah.
example because the rest of us had Carlton a little higher. But yeah.
I was surprised I didn't cop a mention for as high as I put Carlton. I had him at like 13.
Did you?
I had him pretty high.
Okay, fair enough.
What do you like about Carlton?
I see like their young guys getting better. Like they've got a pretty decent group of young kids. Like Paddy Cripps, he's not that. He's young still, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like Charlie Curnow, he looks really good.
I just think they're going to take some more time. They are very raw.
Yeah.
And then you got Gibbs.
They showed flashes last year.
Gibbs is gone. Doherty's now gone for the season.
Yeah, Doherty's
That's
a
just
big
for
loss.
me. I think
Yeah,
I don't
true.
think they're going to improve personally.
I'm a fan of
strong
Bolton as a coach.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think
Another
he's
classic.
the right coach for Carlton where they're at as well. But yeah, like you said, it might be jumping the gun a little bit early to have them going up. They're probably more of a 3 or 4 year prospect.
Yeah.
It's them and Gold Coast, I think, because Brisbane definitely, I think, will be a rung above them this year, in my view. I think Gold Coast and Carlton are probably two. I don't know where you guys put them, but probably pretty low as well.
Yeah, I'd Gold Coast low.
Well, we can go through the combined ladder now.
Let's do it.
So I'll read them out. I'll put a graphic up so that people can follow along.
Yep.
In the top 4, we had Adelaide first, Sydney Swans second, Geelong third, and Richmond were fourth.
Yep.
Moving down, we had Greater Western Sydney in fifth, Port Adelaide sixth, seventh place is Melbourne, and eighth, just slotting in, was West Coast Eagles. I think half of us had the Eagles in the top 8 and the other half didn't. So
It's going to be a real big battle for 6th to 12th, I think.
Yeah.
A huge battle.
Yeah.
You have teams like St Kilda, Hawthorn, I think, will be around that mark as well. That was really hard. West Coast, Melbourne, St Kilda, Hawthorn. They're all teams
Port,
that could push.
yeah.
Port, again, could all push into that.
It's like we said we've said it on previous podcasts, the last couple of years have been extremely even, which means the middle part of the ladder is extremely congested.
Even like I said before, when I was doing it, like I had 10 teams in my middle third, and I had to pick 2 guys to go up into the top third, 2 guys to go down. It was like, there's that 10 teams that are just sort of pretty. There's obviously the better ones, but they're still pretty in that same echelon, if you will.
all right, unlucky in 9th, we had Western Bulldogs, 10th St Kilda, 11th place Essendon, 12th Fremantle, 13th Hawthorn, and 14th Collingwood.
Okay.
And just to finish off with the bottom 4, no surprises here. Carlton, followed by Brisbane in 16th, North Melbourne 17th, and almost unanimously Gold Coast in rank last. I think.
So, any surprises there? Anyone really disagree with anything in there? For me personally, I think the Bulldogs, when they're at their best, are a top 8 side quite easily.
I was going to say they're too high, is how I'd put it.
Okay.
I think St Kilda are going to overtake them this year, in my view.
St Kilda are another one with a lot of quality players, but do they have that next top A+ midfielder? Probably not.
Exactly.
They have a lot of really encouraging guys like Akers and they picked up Hunter Clark, and I'm a big fan of again, but
He's still not going to be a A++.
well, yeah, it's too early, but yeah.
Interestingly, I was reading an article, and I've heard talk of Caulfield in the guts. He's been training with the midfield all since he got picked up.
has he? Interesting. I remember pre-draft he said he wants to play as a defender.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be quite outside, to be honest. But
He's got the big body, though.
Yeah.